Hi, I'm Bria, and for the last 7 years, I've helped trans women and non binary people find the voice that fits right for them. Almost 10 years ago now, I had stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma, cancer. The thing about cancer is there's not a whole lot that's in your control. There's just a lot of waiting, there's a lot of just hoping for the drugs to take effect, there's just waiting for test results, waiting for doctor's appointments. It's very passive. And so I did what I could to feel like I had some semblance of control in my life. I would exercise, I would focus on eating right, just anything to maintain my physical health as best I could manage it so that I would be able to handle the cancer treatment as best I could. So when I started transitioning 7 years ago now, I took the same approach. There's so much in transition that's outside of our control. You're not in charge of how quickly the HRT is going to affect you. You're not in charge of when you're going to be able to get any surgeries you might want. You're not in charge of any hair removal stuff, document changes. Most aspects of transition are pretty much outside of our control. You just kind of have to lie back and wait and hope for the best. But the one aspect of transition that is in our control is our behavior. A lot of us, we make choices in clothing and mannerisms and other things that feel more comfortable for us. And the tricky one is voice, because voice, it is a performance. It's a thing that you do, but unlike clothes or mannerisms, it's kind of more of a skill. Like there's a skill involved in those things too, but it really is a skill. It's like playing a musical instrument. And so I focused on that training of my musical instrument the same way I focused on exercise when I had cancer. It was a thing I could do every day that, in some small way, even if I felt dysphoria, even if I was having a hard time or things weren't going the way I wanted or it was just taking a long time, I knew I was moving towards my goal. Every single day, I did some voice training, and I knew in some small way, even if I don't feel good today, I'm moving closer to feeling good about myself tomorrow. It helps us feel less helpless in a situation that often feels pretty helpless. And it allows us to really embody ourselves and feel less alienated from ourselves. Like voice is so personal. It's you coming out into the world. It's an expression of your soul almost. And to have a sound that's coming out of you that you don't feel comfortable with is very alienating. And there's a lot of other things in the world about being trans that's very alienating. And so if you can have a voice that doesn't alienate you, that's one less thing that's pushing you away from the rest of the world. One less thing that's pushing you away from yourself. I like to think of gender as a bit of more of an action rather than an embodiment, like what I do rather than what I am. There's aspects of, I don't know, gender's complicated. Who knows what is innate and what is something that you perform. But we define ourselves. Other people don't get to define us. And if enacting something helps you embody something, then it's a good thing for you to do. It's going to help you feel at home in yourself. So, voice as an act or a performance, not in a superficial sense, but in a deed that you perform to feel like you are truly being yourself, you are embodying yourself, you are taking control of your own life and acting as who you want to be in the world. That's extremely powerful. I said a moment ago that voice is like an instrument that we learn to play. It's something that we often think of as being like innate. Oh, men's voices are like this and women's voices are like that. But voice training, I think, can often help us really appreciate not just the permeability of what are seemingly impossible barriers to cross through, but also how there's so much variation, there's so much wiggle room. You can train your voice and change it, but there's no one fixed place you have to reach in order to be a real woman or whatever. There's so many different ways to get there, and you might surprise yourself with just, what you can get away with, what kind of voice you can have and be accepted by other people as a woman, and also be able to accept yourself as a woman. It's about realizing there's a woman's voice inside you all along. You could do it. It's not something outside of who you are. It's not something you've been permanently separated from by accident of birth. It's just something you have to relearn how to do. We all start out, for the most part, with pretty high-pitched voices, and then you go through a puberty, and everyone's voice typically deepens with puberty for the most part. It's just testosterone tends to deepen it more. And it's, as far as I know, it's thickening up the muscles at the bottom of the throat more, pulling your voice down. And what we have to learn how to do is play that voice instrument differently. So you're not relying so much on it here, you're pulling it up into here. It's more flexible than like a tuba or something. It's not like you can play a tuba super high pitched, but you have variation within most instruments that you can do things with. You can play an instrument in an unconventional way and get a different kind of sound out of it. And it's about learning to play your instrument in a different way to get a different kind of sound. I find voice training to be so empowering. It helps break down just like barriers in gender generally. You see what's possible. You see what you can do. You see how much of our perceptions about gender is an illusion. It's something we tell ourselves about, men are like this, women are like that, but actually anybody could actually be like anything for the most part. You can be who you want to be. All you have to do is reach out and take it. One of the saddest things for me to hear from a voice student is, I like my voice, but I need to change it so other people treat me differently. Or, I like my voice, but I feel like I have to change it in order to be a real woman, or whatever. We all have to do things to survive in the world. If you have to change your voice in order to be treated by other people better, I understand that. It's a big advantage to be treated as your gender, and it's really not nice to be misgendered. But if you're changing your voice purely for other people, but you truly like your voice, I would maybe ask you to question why you're training to change it. I always tell people, voice training is for you to have the voice that you want to have. It's for you. You need to be comfortable with it. I really like my voice because I worked for it. I know it's mine. I made it myself. I earned it myself. It's exactly how I want it to be within who I am. I have to play my voice instrument the way it can be played. And it makes me feel comfortable with who I am. If you're comfortable with who you are, don't change who you are. But if you're not comfortable with your voice, you can change it. You deserve to have a voice that you like talking with. You shouldn't have to go through life feeling bad every time you open up your mouth. It's really hard to overcome the self-consciousness and the barriers that, usually people have starting out in voice training, but it really is worth it. If you just take, 20 minutes a day, an hour a day, don't do more than that. Just do something regular. Keep working at it. You'll get to a place that's more comfortable for you. Don't get caught up in ideas of perfection. Just doing 20 minutes a day, maybe an hour a day, no more than that. Just do something every day to feel like you're moving towards who you want to be, moving towards your goal. Don't get caught up in ideas of perfection. There's a good chance you're never going to sound exactly like how you want to sound in your head. If you're like me, it's never going to be as good as in your head, because what's in your head is like your perfect vision. But what you have to create is who you are. And you can be who you want to be, even if it's not exactly as you imagined it. Very little in life turns out how we imagine it. Very little in our life is in our control. But what is in our control is actions that we take each day. Keep working towards it. Don't give up. Don't lose belief in yourself. I believe in you. Keep training and be good. Be good. I'm being weird. Love you lots. New voice video.